if you are a teacher, next time let's discuss about this caning. When they remove caning, I told them, you ban caning, they ban schools. It will always be like that. Now, caning was the tool the teacher used to control the students. Now that the teacher's hands were tied and the cane was taken away, teachers have no authority. They are there helpless. The child knows you can't do anything to me. So what happened to teachers have thrown up their hands. They have given up. So they just teach and go, teach and go. There before teachers had a goal for their class. The good teachers, of course, which majority believe, we have a few elements who will take out their stress on children, and those ones should have been controlled. We don't ban the whole thing because it had its purpose. Elements of abuse does not mean you ban the whole thing. We are getting it wrong. When you remove caning, you mean teenagers should use their reasoning now. What do we mean by that? How shall teenagers control their behavior?
It can't happen.
If there's no discipline, there's nothing to fear, how will they behave? How will you? Now, counseling. You are appealing to their reason. A child who has locked you out with an attitude and shaking their head there and they having their way and their day. How does teacher on duty control school without a cane? Teacher on duty. No, tell me practically speaking.
It's hard. I've been there.
Thank
I
you.
know.
How will teacher on duty make kids run to class, move away from the dormitory? You're moving out and kids are hiding behind in latrines, under bed. Do you know? Do they know how primitive Africans are? What are they joking with? They're imitating the West. We are joking. We are joking, brother. How does the teacher control stubborn kids? Those who train dogs, sometimes they put an electric shock in the leash that is on the dog's neck. And a dog that has a bad habit of attacking other dogs that are peaceful, attacking other people. Guard dogs are used for their security. They're able to attack who needs to be attacked. But in order to be taught when to be peaceful and when to attack, they have to be taught what is wrong. So sometimes they attack everything. They attack every other dog, every other person. So what the trainers do, they have a dog leash that has a baton. The way he's holding it has a baton. And if the dog jumps at the wrong people, jumps at innocent people, he presses it and the dog is shocked. That shock tells them that is wrong. Teenagers need a shock to know what is wrong. You don't train teenagers by, please don't do that again, you'll be sent home. You see, Bramwell, when you're a teacher, you can't report every case to the deputy or the principal. How many cases will you report? Some cases are minor. They just needed a quick slash and the kid knows that's wrong. Without a sense of fear, you can't control students. I still miss Mr. Mwala, one of our guys who used to coach, a very good guy, man, a teacher, physics. And he was also a games teacher, and he would make our school go all the way to nationals. He taught physics, which I hated, and he made me pass. I got B+ because of Mr. Mwala. That was Mr. Mwala's grade. It was not me. Not yours. But then he also mocked her. Don't worry, that B+ might as well be 46%. The grading of physics is different. I thought it must be 70-something. So no, grading of physics depends on how people have performed. Yes. We are supposed to use that term. I think something, then you're supposed to put it here, then it rolls, it's a marble. It rolls, then you time. Mine disappeared. It rolls and went down, and then I'm right. My practical was not quite pleasant. You're supposed to measure some voltage. Mine, instead of going this way, was going the other direction. We had been told if it goes, just alternate the terminals. But I think I was so confused. I don't know what happened in my practicals. Practical has 40%. So, Mr. Mwala was known that if he canes you, you will not forget it. So we just knew the reputation of the cane. And we responded to the reputation. When Mr. Mwala, whether he's on duty or not, when the bell rings, you're supposed to go to class. But you see, people will drag. If the teacher is around, they don't fear. Others hide, others are sleeping, oversleeping. How do you control? Mr. Mwala just needed to stand outside the staff room. That's all. He would just step outside the staff room and everybody is flying to class. I admire that man. He gave something in me that I've never forgotten. He never came to me, by the way, for all those years. Never came. But did I come out with the discipline? Return the cane to teachers so they can have respectability and a sense of fear to students. Otherwise, students will never behave. We are playing in the games there. The bell has gone. Other guys are washing clothes. They're in the orchard, fruits there. We are supposed to be in class. People are still in the... They hear rumor that Mr. Mwala is approaching. Rumor. You can even cause a scare. You can just pretend you saw him and he's not there. mister, and everybody clears to class. Brother, if there was no caning, a person like me, and I don't regard myself to be quite a rowdy guy. You are not, I can confirm. Brother, I was a typical teenager. I was typical. And if the caning, the fear of the cane, made me behave, be streamlined, what about these others who already wanted to drink, smoke, sneak, do things? Can you tell our society to stop joking? Yeah. You don't ban caning in Africa. You never move. These kids are already showing us what they will do. The way they are banning schools, they'll ban companies, ban homes, ban buses. They will be uncontrollable. They don't know authority. They don't fear nobody.
Yeah.
Those kids have no reasoning. It's only emotions. And without a cane, you can't. Teachers are giving up. Have you heard that teachers are resigning?
Yeah.
They're giving up.
Yeah.
Imagine that experience of going to kids who are mocking you. How long can you endure that? Who are mocking you? What can you do? What can you do? The teachers who would punish students that time, they were overpunished. They were taken to disciplinary, they were interjected, I don't know, interdicted, what. And we are not saying it's bad when justice is followed, it's okay. We are not saying, but you're saying removing the system of discipline has made sure that these kids do not know where they go. Now, later on, they come out, and they are in these relationships and they don't know. Because we are not taught to find our purpose. We had a principal who always told us, think about where you'll be 10 years from now. And another teacher in primary school. In every school, you had a teacher who would make you behave. Yeah. These others are also there, but there is one. That principal would appear like a ghost in the window of a class. Yeah. You're talking vernacular. You're supposed to use English and Swahili. Yeah. But guys at night, they're speaking vernacular. Yeah. Because nobody's around. Only to realize he has been listening at the window. And it's embarrassing when the guys who are at the window have already seen him. The rest of you have not seen. And they're trying to signal you. You can't see. And you're still chatting. And the teacher is listening. Quite. It was so embarrassing. Then he coughs. Then there's pin drop silence. Everybody's busy. You hear papers flapping. People opening pages. You could tell who is on duty. There's a time boys started watching pornography. Look at this case and tell me how you can handle it without caning. They came with pornography CDs, they smuggled them into school and started playing them in the social hall. Our social hall was between two dorms. Then because there's a space, you put a roof between the space. So one window opens into the hall. So I was in one of those windows that was opening to the I was the school captain. At that time, I had moved to a cubicle of mine. But sometimes you don't spend in the cubicle. You have a friend you have been chatting, and it's a weekend, it's relaxed. There's a special cubicle for captain, president. But sometimes you talk to your friend until you've dozed off in their bed, and you're just, it's a relaxed weekend, especially when KCSE is nearing, from force, you're not being too monitored too much, Guys came with a pornographic CD, and then it started playing. The principal was doing what he always does, like a ghost, floating around, like a shadow. And enjoying them. They're playing in mute. Pornography. He stood at the door. There was a small door on the other side. They did not sense, they are absorbed. And he marked the faces. That principal had the ability to register faces. So he just scanned. By the time they saw him and left, he had enough list. And in the morning he was calling and picking. And he could scan the assembly and know who is not there. Can you imagine? I don't know how he used to do that. We are 400. Where's Nixon? From 4 West. And surely we did not even know that he is not here. He had such a touch, and he never used to cane that frequently. But when he canes you, you remember it. So, Bramwell, this is my point. Let us return kids to a place where they can have their identity and their calling, their purpose. Where do they get that from? Disciplining, finding who they are. If we don't do that, we reach a point where even the love relationship itself is chaotic because kids never got direction. That direction about your calling, your career is what also becomes now your identity. Apart from who you are in your calling and what God intended you to be, you also decide who you will be in relationship, who you will be as a son, as a daughter, who you will be as a worker. Those things flow from this one manufacturer's definition. And where are they coming from? A core that is separate and is not looking to be attached to a person to know who you are.